Watchers, before we begin, I want to make this absolutely clear. The following broadcast contains public domain courtroom footage, commentary, and legal analysis. This content is presented under the Fair Use Doctrine as defined by 17 U.S.C. 107 and is protected by multiple Supreme Court rulings, which you see below. This stream is transformative, educational, and journalistic in nature. It includes original commentary, trial breakdowns, legal interpretation, and critical analysis, not raw redistribution. We do not claim ownership over any public domain footage, and all use is strictly within legal bounds. If you're watching this content, you're engaging in a protected, transformative experience, grounded in law, never in speculation. And if anyone has a problem with that, take it up with Campbell, Brady, Miranda, and Irvin. Remember, guys, justice always works better when we watch. So keep watching. See you in the courtroom.
That we talked about, so once you receive it, Ray will give you all the oath.
Please stand and raise your hand. You solemnly swear or affirm that you will well and truly try the issue between the state of Florida and the defendant and render a true verdict according to the law and the evidence, and I do.
All right, thank you all. Please see it. All right, folks, these are some preliminary instructions I have to read to you. I have to read to them into the record, but you all will read along with me. Just like I gave you a copy of the Beyond Reasonable Doubt instruction, I think we all absorb better once we read, follow, and also hear. There's also note-taking opportunities, so I'm going to start with page 1 of the preliminary instructions. Members of the jury, you have been selected and sworn as the jury to try the case of the state of Florida versus Daisy. This is a criminal case. The defendant is charged with second-degree murder with a weapon, the weapon being a firearm. The definition of the crime charged will be explained to you later. You must decide this case based on the evidence presented and the law that I give you. Evidence consists of the sworn testimony of witnesses, exhibits admitted into evidence, and anything else that I tell you to consider as evidence. The state's charging document, which is called information, is not evidence and it is not to be considered by you as any proof of guilt. It is my responsibility to explain the law to you. It is your solemn responsibility to determine if the state proved its accusation beyond a reasonable doubt against the defendant in accordance with the law that I provide to you. Thus, the province of the jury and the province of the court are well defined, and they do not overlap. This is one of the fundamental principles of our system of justice. Before proceeding further, it would be helpful if you understand how a trial is conducted. At the beginning of the trial, the attorneys will have an opportunity, if they wish, to make an opening statement. The opening statement gives the attorneys a chance to tell you what evidence they believe will be presented during the trial. What the lawyers state is not evidence, and you are not to consider it as such. Following the opening statements, witnesses will be called to testify under oath. They will be examined and cross-examined by the attorneys. Documents and other exhibits may be introduced as evidence. After the evidence has been presented, the court will give you instructions on the law. The attorneys will then have the opportunity to make their closing arguments. Following the closing arguments by the attorneys, the court will conclude with the final instructions. After the final instructions are given, the order will be released and you will retire. Definite or fixed opinion on the merits of the case until you have heard all the evidence, the arguments of the lawyers, and the instructions on the law that I give you. Until that time, you should not discuss the case among yourselves. Your verdict must be solely based on the evidence or lack of evidence and the law. Jurors must decide the case without distraction and only on the evidence presented in the courtroom. Jurors must not conduct any investigation on their own. This includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, the internet, any electronic device, or any other means at all to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. You may not visit places mentioned in the trial or use the internet to look at maps or pictures to see any place discussed during the trial. If you investigate, research, and make any inquiries on your own, I have no way to make sure that the information you obtain is proper for the case. The parties, likewise, have no opportunity to dispute or challenge the accuracy of what they find. This is contrary to our judicial system, which assures every party the right to ask questions about and challenge the evidence being considered against it, and to present argument with respect to that evidence. Any independent investigation by a juror unfairly and improperly prevents the parties from having that opportunity our judicial system promises. You are also not permitted to communicate about this case with anyone, including your spouse, family members, friends, neighbors, and even your fellow jurors. No communication includes no in-person, telephonic, or electronic communication, such as emailing, text messaging, posting information on social media or a website, or any other form of communication. During the trial, the court may take recesses, and you will be permitted to separate and go about your personal affairs. It is important to remember that the prohibition on communicating about this case applies during these recesses, whether you are in the courthouse or elsewhere. If at any time you find yourself in a situation where others are discussing the case in your presence, leave that situation at once and immediately report the matter to the bailiff, who will advise you. All cell phones, computers, tablets, or other types of electronic devices must be turned off while you are in the courtroom. Turned off means the phone or other electronic device is actually off and not in the silent or vibrating mode. You may use these devices during recesses, but even then you may not use your cell phone or electronic device to find out any information about the case or communicate with anyone about the case or the people involved in the case. Do not take photographs, videos, recordings, or audio recordings of the proceedings or of your fellow jurors. After each recess, please double check to make sure your cell phone or electronic device is turned off. At the end of the case, while you are deliberating, you must not communicate with anyone outside the jury room. You cannot have in the jury room any cell phones, computers, or other electronic devices. This is during deliberations. If someone needs to contact you in an emergency, the court can receive messages and deliver them to you without delay. A contact phone number will be provided to you. Any juror who violates these restrictions jeopardizes the fairness of these proceedings, and a mistrial could result that would require the entire trial process to start over. And this trial is a tremendous expense and inconvenience to the parties, the court, and the taxpayers. If you violate these rules, you may be held in contempt of court and face sanctions such as serving time in jail, paying a fine, or both. In every criminal proceeding, the defendant has the absolute right to remain silent, and no time is the duty of the defendant to prove her innocence. From the exercise of the defendant's right to remain silent, the jury is not permitted to draw any inference of guilt. And the fact that a defendant did not take the witness stand must not influence your verdict in any manner whatsoever. The attorneys are trained in the rules of evidence and trial procedure, and it is their duty to make all objections they feel are proper. When an objection is made, you should not speculate on the reason why it is made. Likewise, when an objection is sustained or upheld by you, you must not speculate on what might have occurred had the objection not been sustained, nor what a witness might have said had the witness been permitted to answer. During the trial, it may be necessary to confer with the attorneys out of your hearing to discuss matters that require consideration by you alone. It is impossible to predict when such a conference may be required or how long it will last. When such conferences occur, they will be conducted to consume as little of time as necessary for a fair and orderly trial of case, and note-taking by jurors. If you like to take notes during the trial, you may do so. On the other hand, of course, you are not required to take notes if you do not want to. That will be left up to you individually. You will be provided with a notepad and pen for use if you wish to take notes. Any notes that you take will be for your own personal use. However, you should not take them with you from the courtroom. During recesses, the bailiff will take possession of your notes and will return them to you when we reconvene. After you have completed your deliberations, the bailiff will deliver your notes to you, and then they will be destroyed. No one will ever read your notes. If you take notes, do not get so involved in note-taking that you become distracted from the proceedings. Your notes should only be used as an aid to your memory. Whether or not you take notes, you should rely on your memory of the evidence, and you should not be unduly influenced by the notes of other jurors. Notes are not entitled to any greater weight than each juror's memory of the evidence. And as I said, the lawyers have an opportunity to make opening statements. The state goes first for the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Ladies and gentlemen, in the early morning hours, Saturday, June 25th, 2022, while most of Homestead was asleep, a single gunshot echoed through a quiet neighborhood. One shot. That's all it took. That's all it took to end a man's life. One pull of the trigger, and a father, a partner, a human being, was left bleeding in an alleyway while the person he shared a home with stood just steps away. Before this happened, you're going to get to learn a little bit about the relationship between the defendant, Daisy Lane, and the victim, Pedro Jimenez, as well as what happened leading up to that moment. The evidence is going to show you that the two of them, they've been together for 9 years. It was on and off, but in fact, they had 2 children together. And you're going to learn it was an unhealthy relationship. But even though it was an unhealthy relationship, they all lived together as a family. But you're going to see Mr. Jimenez, he wasn't always home. And why is that? Well, he was a truck driver. He was out on the road. And just like in any relationship, it wasn't perfect. It had its problems. There were arguments, anger, and even jealousy. So, on Friday, June 24th of 2022, while being back in town from work, Mr. Jimenez began to have suspicions that his partner was cheating. So, he decided to ask and see whether or not that was true. The defendant ends up denying it. They go on about their day. They continue to act as a family. In fact, you can see surveillance footage of them that night coming back together to the home as a family, together with the children. Now, you see that video later on that night, that's when the murder occurs. But as that night progresses, Mr. Jimenez can't stand the fact that potentially his partner is cheating on him. So what does he do? He decides to go over to a friend's home. And while he's there at that friend's home, you're going to hear from the medical examiner. He was drinking, he was smoking weed, and he had cocaine in his system. But while he was there, who shows up to pick him up? The defendant. And she comes to that home and demands that he leaves there and comes back home with her. So he complies. He goes back home with her. Now, the night progresses. It's Saturday, June 25th. And you're going to find out that Mr. Jimenez and the defendant, they decide to step outside of the home and to go into the porch. Miss Lane, she wanted to smoke a cigarette. But interesting enough, she brought out a firearm with her. While the two of them were outside, the evidence is going to show you, in fact, Miss Lane tells police officers that when she saw Mr. Jimenez out there, he had a look of betrayal. So she told him and confirmed that she had cheated on him. Now, Mr. Jimenez, rightfully upset, he doesn't pull out any weapons, he doesn't hit the defendant, but instead, he threatens her by telling her, "You're going to sleep outside tonight." He's going to lock the doors. And you're going to hear in evidence that this wasn't the first time that that had occurred, and that she didn't like having to stay outside. So, in a fit of rage, she pulled out the gun, pointed it at the victim, and the facts will show that when the defendant pointed the gun at Mr. Jimenez, he had turned around and was running away in fear of Miss Link. The defendant then pulls the trigger and fires one shot. And the surveillance you see this week, it's going to confirm that. It's going to confirm that the victim was running away. You're going to hear the 911 calls. You're going to get to see the body on camera. And on that body on camera, you do see Mr. Jimenez take his last breath. This week, you're going to hear from several civilians. You're going to hear from officers. You're going to hear from homicide investigators and even CSI personnel. They're going to tell you about how this investigation led to that defendant. You're going to get to see the defendant's text messages. And you're going to be presented with evidence on how the defendant acted after the shooting, and how that behavior doesn't show or line up with self-defense. At the end of this trial, after all the evidence has been presented, the state is going to ask you to render a verdict that justice demands. Guilty. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Alcala. Mr. Glass.
Good morning. So, yes, Edward Jimenez and Daisy Link were in a long-term relationship together. They had 2 kids in common together, a boy and a girl. At the time of Mr. Jimenez's death, the boy was 7 years old, and the girl was 5 years old. As you heard from the state, they were together for a pretty long time, and you're probably going to hear there are going to be a lot of things that myself and the state don't agree on, but we can all agree that this is a very toxic relationship. And in the days leading up to Mr. Jimenez's death, the relationship took a significant turn for the worst. What do I mean by that? 5 days before Mr. Jimenez's death, he showed up unannounced to Daisy Link's home. And to be clear, the evidence will show it was her home. He didn't live there anymore. He was removed from the lease. The locks were changed. He was not allowed in there unless he was specifically invited. And yes, he would be invited because they had kids together, and Miss Link was gracious enough to let him see those kids, even though he didn't have a right to be with them because he lost his parental rights to those kids. Now, he showed up unannounced 5 days before, and Miss Link had some guests in her home. She was in her home with her 2 kids, and she had her cousin with her cousin whose name is David, and he had his kids with him too. Mr. Jimenez showed up unannounced, and immediately he accused Miss Link of cheating on him, even though they weren't together anymore, cheating on him with this man who he saw in her house. Mr. Jimenez was informed, hey, I'm not cheating, that's my cousin, and I'm not sleeping with my cousin. He's just here because he's family. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Mr. Jimenez did not accept that explanation, and he physically attacked the cousin, David, and he physically attacked Miss Link. Now, when I say physically attacked, I'm not talking about a love tap. I mean, he grabbed her, he took a firearm, and he pistol whipped her with this firearm. He essentially split her head wide open. He left multiple lacerations on her head, and that caused spilling of a lot of blood. This blood's already dry, but you can imagine how much blood that was. He caused her to lose consciousness. I'm not just saying this, he very easily could have killed her. And he did it in front of his 2 kids. And he didn't stop until his 7-year-old son said, "Bobby, Bobby, please stop. Bobby, please stop." So at that point, as toxic as this relationship was, as I mentioned, it took a drastic turn for the worse. And that event, which happened 5 days prior to Mr. Jimenez's death, created a chain of events. And what is that chain of events? This is it. It's over. Daisy Link made a decision. Her family made a decision. Her family came from Texas, came down here for 2 reasons. One, to be with her, to take care of her after she had this unfortunate attack happen to her, and to prepare for her and the kids to leave the state. And that is what was going to happen. That's exactly what was going to happen. Now, did Miss Link do everything perfectly? No. With the benefit of hindsight, could things have been handled differently? Yes. Should Miss Link have decided to not have any contact with Mr. Jimenez from that point on? Yeah, she probably should have. And she didn't. She did have contact with him. And yes, you will see that on the day that Mr. Jimenez lost his life, she did pick him up and bring him. She brought him to see the kids because, as you will hear, she was going to leave and she wasn't coming back. And no, Mr. Jimenez did not live there. That was not his home at that point anymore. Because, as I mentioned, he wasn't on the lease anymore, the locks had been changed, and he had just almost killed her a couple days before. So no. And what you will see that Mr. Jimenez, before the shooting, you'll see him running back and forth. You'll even see Miss Link come outside and yell at him, asking him to leave, and him running away. And you'll see on the video him coming back and forth, back and forth. And what you will also hear is that when this is happening right before he gets shot, you'll hear from the medical examiner that he was whacked out of his mind on cocaine. I'm not just talking about a little cocaine. You'll hear from the medical examiner. This man took so much cocaine that the cocaine alone could have killed him. That's how much cocaine he used. And the state told you that he was in fear for his life immediately before he got shot. Well, that's not what the evidence is going to show. And you're going to see it and you're going to hear it for yourself. Immediately before he got shot, he told Miss Link in a guttural, visceral scream, "I want to die. I'm ready to die." So she asked him to leave. She did everything she could to get him to leave. She did everything she could to get away from this man who, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to trample on anybody's grave, but the evidence will show this man was out of control. He was unhinged and he was dangerous. And she fired a shot to get him to go away from her, to go away from her home, which was locked, which she was not allowed inside of, where her kids were sleeping inside. She did not want him barricading himself in that home and doing something God knows what. We already know what he was capable of from just a couple of days before. So Miss Link gave him every opportunity to leave a place which was not his home. He did not have a right to be here. It was her home that she was protecting, which she had the right to do. He didn't have a right to be there. She did. She asked him to leave. She did everything possible. He screamed at her. He made it clear to her that, "I don't care what you do. I'm ready to die. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to do what I want." And that's when she fired. And she wasn't even firing trying to hurt him. She wasn't firing trying to kill him. She shot at the floor. And just so happens that this bullet, and this is going to be the strangest one-shot killing that you'll ever see. This bullet went up through his heel, and somehow it exited his foot and then went into his leg, and somehow that ended up killing him. So this was an extremely unusual trajectory from a bullet that you will see. So clearly she didn't intend to kill him, even though, and I will submit to you, the evidence will show she had every right and she was completely justified in using deadly force at that moment. And you will know that because later on, you're going to hear the instructions on the law from the judge, and those instructions will spell out to you, and you will see clearly that she was justified in her use of force in that specific situation. But she wasn't even trying to kill him. She wanted him to leave. She did everything she could to get him to leave, before she fired that shot. And ladies and gentlemen, the evidence will show she fired that shot because she had no choice. And under this scenario and under those facts, that means she's not guilty because it's not a crime to defend yourself when you have a reasonable fear of death or great bodily harm to yourself, to another, or from somebody committing a forcible felony against you imminently, which all those things she was in danger of in that minute. So when I come back at the end of this trial, I'm going to ask you to find her not guilty, and that is the correct verdict. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. First witness state.
Yes, sir. At this time, City Hall, Kevin Bonilla, stand.
Does have permission to reposition the podium? Yeah, go ahead. Both sides can have, just don't unplug anything, but both sides can have standing permission to move podium, standing permission to approach the witness.
Yes, Judge Singh.
All right, Mr. Bonilla, over here. Ray's gonna swear you in, so, I'm sorry, Mr. Bonilla, he's gonna swear you in real quick. Come around here. If you hear someone say objection, stop answering, and I'll tell you if you're gonna continue answering or if we're gonna move on to another question. Understand me? All right, thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you please say your name for the record? Mr. Bonilla, do you know Pedro Jimenez, the victim in this case?
Yeah,
How do you know him?
be your friend.
How long have you and Pedro Jimenez, how long were you friends for?
Not sure, a couple years ago.
And were you with Pedro on June 25th, 2022?
Yeah,
And what were you and Pedro doing that night?
goodness.
And around what time was it?
I'm not really sure. Well, not looking off work.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Have you testified before?
No,
Okay, so I know you may be a little nervous. Stop moving for a little bit. Okay, it's gonna make it easier for you to talk. It's also gonna make it easier for the jury to hear you, okay? All right, go ahead and re-ask the last question, please.
Around what time was it?
not sure.
You mentioned you were getting off work. What time did you get off work?
Okay.
I'm sorry, hold on, Ms. Campbell. You're helping her turn off the phone. Is it off now, Ms. Smith? Is the phone off now? All right, thank you. We're gonna put it away because we want to pay attention to what's going on here. Thank you, ladies.
Sorry.
Can you push the mic closer to you?
Right. What were you and Pedro doing at your house?
Just chilling.
How did Pedro get to your house, Mr. Bonilla?
Yeah, pick him up.
You picked him up?
Yeah,
Who'd you pick him up with?
some work dudes
Where did you pick Pedro up that day?
from his house.
And who was there?
Just him and his girl.
Sorry, I'm gonna ask you to speak up a little bit.
Him and his girl,
Who is his girl?
Daisy.
Okay. How long had you known Daisy for?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
So when you and your friends went to pick up Pedro, he was at the house with Daisy,
Yeah,
okay? And what happened when you guys got to the house?
no, we just chill.
Did Daisy ever go to your house that night?
After, yeah,
And what did she go do at your house?
she just wanna go pick up Pedro.
Did she say anything to you when she got to your house?
Not really.
So when she got there, was she looking for Pedro?
Well, when she got there,
When she got to your
yeah,
house?
that's what I guess she went.
She went to look for Pedro?
Yeah,
Okay, did she find him?
yeah.
Did Pedro say anything to you when Daisy got there?
Not really. It was just an alright piece. Gonna take off.
He left with Daisy?
Yeah,
Was Pedro upset or anything?
no.
Was that the last time you saw Pedro, Mr. Bonilla, before he was shot?
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. No further questions.
All right, any cross-examination?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So before Pedro left, was it your house or your friend's house?
What you mean? It was his house where I picked him up at.
What was his house? Okay, you picked him up and then you went where?
To my house.
Your house? Who else was at your house?
Just me, my cousin, dudes from work.
Okay. And while you were there, did you observe Pedro using any drugs?
Not really. Just smoke, but I don't even think he got to smoke.
You don't even think what?
He got to smoke.
Okay,
He left his weed, he was like roll up and be back.
so he was rolling up a joint?
I was rolling it up.
You were rolling it up. Okay, so other than a joint or marijuana, what other drugs were there?
No, I was drinking. I don't know if they was drinking, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, how many people were there?
I don't know, to be honest.
All right, so we know that there was marijuana there. We know people were drinking. What else? Was there cocaine? Was there meth? Was there anything else there?
Oh, I don't know. I don't do none of that stuff, so
To your knowledge, do the other people who were there do that stuff?
nah. Not that I know of.
Not that you know of?
Yeah.
And were you with Pedro the entire time, or did he go off to another section of the house where you didn't see him?
Yeah, I think he went to the kitchen or something.
Okay, so you don't know exactly what he was doing that whole time, correct?
Not really.
And other than being there hanging out with these people and smoking, you have no knowledge of what was going on in the personal life between Pedro and his girlfriend and his kids and his family. You're not privy to that information. Is that correct? All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Bonilla, when Daisy got to your house, did she wait outside for Pedro?
Yeah, well, I don't know. She was like, where he at? I was like, probably inside. Since the door was already open, she just went inside.
So she went in your house to look for him.
Yeah, probably to the kitchen. I don't know. I wasn't with him. You feel me?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
I said I wasn't with him after that. You feel me? 'Cause he was inside.
But she went into your house to go get him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge. No further questions. May the witness be excused. Yes, you can step down. You're excused.
I go outside or what?
I think you're excused from the subpoena, right? Yeah, you're excused from the subpoena. Alrighty, next witness, please.
The city is bring Mark for ed purposes. And
Any objection?
so now,
Alright, so it'll be admitted. Go ahead.
Exhibit 1A marker certification now becomes state exhibit 1.
How long is it? Just to give a preview to the jury. Few minutes. So this is the 911 call. Once an item gets moved into evidence, whoever's moving it into evidence can publish, meaning for you all to view or listen. In this case, it's the 911 call. That's a few minutes long.
Saturday, June 25, 2022, 03:21 and 57 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know why I just hear a guy screaming and it's loud. Just go everywhere. Okay, down on line with you, let me, I can track the phone to see where you are. Okay. Do you know what happened to him? I have no idea. Down on line with me. Is he awake and breathing? Yeah. And I'm sitting here at 1300. What's the highway? Down on my way. Where? Where? Are you in Homestead now? Yes, I know that. Down on my way. What is the phone number you're calling from? 36 562 9539. 76 562 9539. So let me get on the police on the line as well. Iris is already in route. Do you know what part of his body he's injured or I think it's right now. None of them. If you have a clean dry cloth or a towel, apply pressure to where it's bleeding from. It's okay. Sorry, no, that is the money basically. The address is the nothing. She's a. But the address is 1300, not 1153. She's alleging that she found a male down on the floor bleeding all over. I asked her to see if she can look and see where his body, the blood is coming from. She said the leg. I'm not what happened. I have her on the line. And his calling from 786-562-9539. And where are you sitting today? I'm in position 150 here. And what level? And you have right to that, right? Yes. Okay, thank you, Tammy. Yeah. Ma'am? Ma'am? Hello? Okay, you said he looks like he's by the alleyway? He is, he's in the alley. Is he breathing? He's breathing, he's saying that he can't breathe. Okay, about how old do you think he is? I don't know, maybe 30, 25, I don't know. Between like mid-20s to maybe 30? Yeah. Is he able to tell you anything, like what might happen or anything like that? Hello? Yes, can he tell you? What happened? No. He said he doesn't know. He doesn't know, okay. I have police on the way, I have the ambulance on the way, just stay on the phone with me, okay? And he said it looks like it's mostly from his legs. Hold on, I'm on the front right now, I think it is, hold on, let me see. It is, there's hold on. I see an entry, hold on, time, and I see an exit. Was he shot? It looks like it is, yes. He's breathing out through his leg. I can't pick you up. I can't pick you up. So just let him know that help is on the way, but you can't pick him up, okay? Just let him know that help is on the way. Can you bring it? Ma'am, were you able to get a clean dry cloth and towel to apply pressure to his leg? I took his shirt off and I tied it around his leg. You tied it in front of it? Hey, hello? Still, are you okay? What the fuck happened? Is he still breathing, ma'am? Yeah, he has it, but now, yes. They're calling for you now. I'm calling for you now. Just let me know when they make contact with you, okay? Yeah. Do they say you? Hello? Still awake? Yeah, I'm with you. Stay with me. And you see the I see him here. Stay with me. And you can still. They're here. Stay with me. Okay, they're making contact. I'll go ahead and disconnect. Okay, thank you.
Saturday, June 25, 2022.
Judge, at this time, the state calls Officer Trayvon Nicholson to the stand.
Nicholson with an N or an M?
And
Nicholson. You can come on up.
and you find part friend because one of us did the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
Morning. Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, I'm Sergeant Tripmont Nicholson.
Sergeant Nicholson, how long have you been a police officer?
A little over 9 years.
And what department do you currently work for?
The Homestead Police Park.
How long have you worked for that department?
A little over 6 years.
And prior to Homestead Police Department, what department did you work for?
Florida City Police Department.
What is your current assignment, Officer Nicholson, as of today?
I'm one of the afternoon shift sergeants.
And in your 9 years of being a police officer, about how many homicide scenes have you worked as a police officer?
Approximately 50 to 60.
Now, on June 25th, 2022, what was your current assignment?
I was a road patrol officer for the midnight shift.
So I want to take you back to that date. Were you working that night?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you dispatched to 1237 Northwest 14th Street in Homestead, Florida?
Yes, I was.
What were you dispatched in reference to?
I believe it was in reference to a male down, covered in blood, possibly shot.
Now, Officer Nicholson, before you were dispatched, were you already in the Homestead area?
Yes, ma'am.
What area were you in before you were dispatched?
I was in what we consider our Alpha 1 area, which is in the same area as where I was dispatched to on that night, approximately 3 or 4 blocks from the location.
And when you were in that area before you were dispatched, did you hear anything?
Yes, prior to being dispatched, I heard a pop.
Did you check out where that pop was coming from? Did you try and check it out?
So when I heard it, it sounded like it came from south of my location. So I traveled south slowly on 14th Avenue, which is one of the main roads that runs north and south. I looked down every street as I passed it to see if anybody would flag me down, if I seen anything suspicious. And I kept going until I was dispatched.
And when you were dispatched, what street were you on? Do you remember?
I believe I was on 4th Street and 14th Avenue.
And you mentioned you had passed 14th Street.
Correct.
Was that where the dispatch sent you?
Correct. Dispatch sent me to 14th Street.
When you passed 14th Street, when you were first looking in the area, did you see anything?
No, it was a pitch black road.
Now I want to go back to when you were dispatched. From the time you heard that pop noise to the time you were dispatched, Officer Nicholson, how much time had passed?
I would say approximately 5 to 8 minutes.
And how long did it take for you to get to the dispatch area from where you were?
Roughly another 2 to 3 minutes.
And when you got to where you were dispatched, what was it? Was it a house? Was it a location? What was the location?
So when I arrived on scene, the location was in an alleyway. The victim in this case was in the alleyway.
And who else was there when you got to the alleyway?
The defendant in this case.
How did she appear to be when you got there?
She was standing next to him. She was yelling. When I got out, I walked up to the victim. I asked him, "Are you okay? Are you injured?" There was no response from the victim. And then at that point, I asked, "Do you know him?" to the defendant, and she said it was her husband.
So I want to go back to when you arrived at the alleyway. Where was the victim in the alleyway?
He was laying on the ground in the middle of the alleyway,
And where was the defendant when you got there?
standing over his right side.
And when you were asking the victim questions, was he able to respond to you?
No, ma'am.
What kind of questions were you asking him?
I was asking him, was he hurt? I asked him, what's his name? I asked him, was he shot?
Did he appear to be injured to you at that time, Officer Nicholson?
I did see blood on him. There was a good amount of blood. on his legs, on his like abdominal area. At that point in time, the alleyway was very dark. I lit it up with my lights of my police car, but it's still a dark area. I had my flashlight out. At that time, when I first arrived, I didn't see where the injury was.
And who was answering the questions you were asking to the victim?
The defendant answered the majority of the questions.
What was she saying?
So like when I asked him what his name was, I believe she said his name. I asked him, "Are you shot? Where are you shot?" And the defendant was able to point at the location of where the GSW was.
But you weren't able to see immediately when you got there where the location was.
No, ma'am.
And now, what was the victim wearing when you arrived?
He didn't have a shirt on. He had on what appeared to be black shorts and boxers.
Okay, was there a lot of bleeding?
So, like I said, he had a lot of blood on him. But when I responded to gunshot victims in the past, you typically see where the blood is coming from. In this case, I was unable to. The blood was smeared in different parts of his legs. And I was unable to see where the bleeding was coming from.
Did he appear to be in distress or pain?
Yes.
Was he, sorry,
Go ahead.
was he conscious when you got there?
Yes, he was conscious. At one point, I believe he tried to get up. I told him, stay down, because I was trying to figure out where the injury was.
What was the defendant's demeanor as you were trying to assess the victim?
She was screaming. Believe at one point she stated what happened. Like she was asking him what happened. She was upset. She was asking where rescue was. And things like that.
When she was asking him what happened, did it make it seem to you as she didn't know what happened?
Correct.
Hold on, stop. Sustained. So the jury will disregard the last answer of this officer. You can ask the next question.
Yes, Judge. Did she tell you how she got there?
She said that she said that she was out looking for him.
Okay, and do you remember her saying anything about the shot and the wounds on his body?
Just when I asked, were you shot? She said, I believe he was shot, and then she pointed to the location.
And did you try to help and treat the victim's injury, Officer Nicholson?
Yes, once I was able to locate it, my partner was pulling up by that time. I asked him to grab my med bag that I had in my vehicle. He was able to do that. He then took the scissors out because at that point my hands had blood on them. He took the scissors out. He cut the shorts to open up the area, and then he applied pressure.
Okay. And was fire rescue also dispatched to the scene?
With the reference to the way that the call came out, fire rescue is automatically dispatched when we are.
How long did it take them to get there?
I would say approximately 5 to 10 minutes
And
after I got there. So
was there any point you had to do CPR on the victim?
yes, there was a point where when my partner had pressure on the wound, I was constantly checking his pulse. He initially had one. Then at one point I didn't feel one, so I started CPR. I continued CPR, sporadically checking for pulse, until fire rescue got there.
And when fire rescue got there, did they try to revive him?
At that point, when fire rescue got there, I walked away. I started securing the scene, because I allow them to administer the life-saving measures.
And before we get to you securing the scene, was fire rescue able to revive him?
No, he was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Great body worn camera that night.
Yes, I was.
And if I were to show you a clip of where your body worn camera was, would you recognize it?
Yes, I would.
Now directing court counsel and witness to what has been previously marked as states. 1F, permission. That the record reflect that I showing the defense counsel. Just permission to approach the witness.
Yes, standing permission.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Nicholson, in the CD, is it your body worn camera that was on and activated and captured everything that happened on June 25th, 2022?
Yes, it captured my involvement.
Was it a fair and accurate depiction of your body worn camera that night?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I now look to evidence with these part of these 1F.
Any no objection, it'll be admitted.
Exhibit 1F, marked identification of the state exhibit to judge.
If you're going to publish, hold on, Mr. Alcala, if you're gonna publish, how long is it?
Judge, it's 23 minutes. 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
You're gonna play the whole thing?
Yeah.
All right, so just so everyone can get comfortable, right? All right, thank you. Go ahead. It has sound as well, correct?
It does.
Go ahead.
Permission to publish?
Yes, does anyone want to leave the courtroom before we do that? Okay, go ahead. I just don't want it to be interrupted. We're gonna play it through.
Yes.
Hey, what's going on? I see it, a hole to the back, a hole to the front, something's fucking back. I have, I took off his. No, he's actually my husband. Okay. Right here, right here. You see it from the front, you can see the front. Hey, just stay right there, boss. Are you okay? Hello? Stay with me. 4:30. GSW. Yeah, that's all. Gonna be to the right lane, to the right side, and out the right side. No, stay down, stay down. Hey, stay down. Go in my truck, grab right there's my trauma kit. Grab me gauze and all that. They know what the fuck happened. Hey, girl. Where's the ambulance? They're coming. Open it up. I got my hands in dirt. Grab me two. We're gonna get that office. Yep. Just cut it off. Does that hold? What's the best way to come out of there? Hey, hello? Yeah, I'm in the alleyway. Hey, Joe. Hello, look at me, hello, look at me, are you here, are you with me? Hey, Joe, hey, boss. Oh my God. No. Alright. Hey, Joe. No. Hey, I need you to relax, I need you to calm down, give me a second. Huh? Hey, Joe. Hey, put pressure on him. Edwards, put pressure. Hey, I need you to calm down, Mama. I need you to calm down. What's GW? Right there in the top. Hey, no, hey, look at me, please. No, hey, kids are celebrating as if they're aliens in our. Pedro, please stay with me. Oh my God. No. Pedro, please.
Need you to back up, please. I need you to back up. Back up, please. Pedro. Pedro. Stay up. You're fine.
You okay? Are you close?
Okay. Oh, please.
I can't read.
You better we start seeing that. Hey, did rescue see where we're at? I heard the truck. I heard the truck. The truck should be on that side. Andrew. Andrew. Come on, Pedro. Stay with me. Yeah, relax. There you go, Pedro. Come on. Don't give up, Pedro. You got this, bro. Come on, bro. Hey. Pedro. Pedro.
Fire, they're showing all right.
So, I'm thinking that. You need to back up, please. Relax, back up. Pedro. Hey, boss. Need you tell me what happened? Pedro. Who did this to you, bro? Come on, Pedro. Pedro. Hey. Pedro. Pedro. Hey, it's got a deep pulse. GSW to the right now. Okay. So it looks like it through and through. Where's the yeah. When I got here, this is where it goes. Edward. I'm gonna follow it down. Okay.
433 is off. Walking in arrival, 33 They're gonna be the only way there, and a large trade. If you can't hear it. Sorry, moving on here.
Accurate. What? Just have him back. Where's she living? Let's start lifting it off.
So I'm gonna start rolling up here again. Now. Why, we're gonna work on that, okay, now we're gonna, start a roll call here.
Yeah.
You did the head of rolling down the area.
Hey, Debbie, pull my car back. Pull my car back. Pull it back. Pull it back in this open spot.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll show you, just taking a red one, 336.
Hey, get it back to the opening, Shane.
145.
Watch your feet.
Central 50.
Backing up. Go ahead, Shane. Watch out, LT, he's coming back. Go ahead, Chevy, go. Hey, stop, Sheriff. Turn your wheel. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way. You got the tree. Turn the wheel hard this way. This way? Yeah. Back it up.
Yeah, 443.
Yeah. Hey, pull forward. Right there. My patches. Right there above my headrest, look. Hey, kill my head.
And what are you looking for, right here? Correct. There you go.
What? Look, right there above my headrest. Passenger side. Hey, thank you. Hey, let's start here and just go to the top. I'm just dropping off this whole preparation. Yeah, we're gonna probably have to go out to the road. If we could, we'll walk back that way. See, yes. We'll have to put a car on that end. No, I don't know nothing. She said, he left out. He had to come home, so she went looking for him. She found him in the alleyway, and she seen that he had the in and out in the right back. I was at, I was at 17. I was at 17 and 14, and I heard like a pop, and I started driving this way. But I needed to go, and it sounded more like a fire. So I started driving down 14, and then that's when they gave me the call. You got more this way, Shed? We got blood there. Hey, what? Chevy, just one step on that. Yep.
786, 7. Ready to get 4 minutes. Special on a 7434 to Edina, Lopez Durant, to change of the well, 81 Northwest 14th Street.
Somebody must have been driving, but he was in the passenger. Hey, give me, hey, somebody got a car? Have the call. Man, rescue's out with him now.
423. 423. So you're gonna have to go on to, so I'm gonna get you into it.
Yeah, complete block of Different Street. Yeah.
It's like you're
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago, bro. I heard.
I'm sure you have to figure out what to do that pulled up in front.
I heard a pop, so I started driving down there and they gave me the call. Yo,
Oh, sure, that's it.
what?
447, that's all. 344.
Hey, bro, I need fish. Appreciate it.
What's over, where's the problem? Okay, sorry.
Every.
150 feet, they said they found the possible thing. That's B912. All right, it's 1289 Northwest 14th Street in Stratford. Why you not right? Why not? According to the blood trail, he seems to be walking around in circles, double blocking off the entire street.
I'll do it.
And it
Need it more west? Oh, that's good there.
That's good. Yeah, I'm going to 3-4.
Gotta get his info. Hey, Chevy. Chevy. She's got it. Hey, Chevy, you got a vet? You got a weapon? I don't know, man. Can I rescue? And they said, can you get her info and then his info from her? Please. Yeah, this smoke's gonna have. We're just gonna, we broke up the whole room. That's what I'm saying, we got these houses right here. Yeah, so we'll shut down the whole front of it. And then also in the back. Somebody else got tape, is their car close? Yeah, we'll bump this backside for now. Can we figure out what we got? Alright. And now, what was that now? Possibly. I don't know. Hard to tell. They're getting his info and her info.
Ready, great.
Thank you, man. Only two bags can. Yeah.
439. You go to 423.
Now we're all right.
I'm going to be very good, yeah. It's up. Very good. 453.
No. Blood everywhere, but we're gonna block off this whole Just block him out. He's been all over.
Let's see if we can do a little for nation, if we get some music to come in early.
Here. We go back a little bit more. Doesn't make sense, bro. Yeah, we're just gonna shut the whole hour down.
I'll get her all the way.
Yeah, somebody, this is it. They ain't coming out.
So if there's anybody on this that we can clear, I believe we should have maybe 5 with the whole thing.
Oh. They ain't coming out. It is what it is. Is a homicide investigation. Just put the tape back. This way. You can use no tape. They didn't give you a blanket for this guy. Fire didn't leave a blanket. Let me see if I got one in my car.
Children, I'll be around. No one.
Bro, you didn't walk around the house, bro. You walked all over there. Bro, there's blood everywhere. There's blood in the SUV.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
But aren't Joey Farmer else?
Hey! Turn! Rescue out there? Is rescue out there? Can you get their info? At one point, she said about 5,000 times, I'm just gonna walk through the street. Said earlier today in the white van, I'm gonna make my own, there's a passenger van, a white van, so there's a white van. With a couple of these friends, when he got back, agitated, that's when I started walking around the circle, walking all over the place. Then she didn't see me for about 45 minutes, so she started driving, so she was talking back. So, this info there? Yeah.
Now, Officer Nicholson, do you remember the defendant telling you where she was before she got to the victim?
Um, I don't recall.
We're looking at your body worn, refresh your recollection. That portion?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have to go out to the road, if we could, we'll walk back that way, see, yes. Well, I can put a car on that, Walter. No, I don't know nothing. She said, he left out. He hadn't come home, so she went looking for him. She found him in the alleyway.
Is your recollection refreshed?
Yes, ma'am.
So where did the defendant tell you she was?
Originally, she was at her residence, and then she left looking for him.
And do you remember her mentioning Pedro hadn't come home, so she went looking for him?
Correct.
And then she mentioned she found him in the alleyway. Now, I want to talk about securing the scene. We saw your body worn, that you secured the scene, so let's talk about it. When fire rescue left, did you begin an investigation into what had occurred?
When fire rescue left, at that point, we knew it was a homicide investigation. We don't investigate homicides, Miami-Dade does. So we secure the scene to conserve as much evidence as possible. And then we allow Miami-Dade to come and investigate what happened.
How did you secure the scene?
So, different officers were shouting, as you could see in my body worn camera, there's blood here, there's blood here. So at that point, being the lead, I make a determination along with the supervisors to how big the scene is gonna be. In this case, we ended up making the scene approximately probably 2 blocks, because it was between the alleyway and the main road.
Why did you secure such a large area of the scene?
There was blood in all those areas, approximately from the initial residence where we found the blood to about 2 or 3 residents away.
Officer Nicholson, if I were to show you a picture of the scene that you were dispatched to on June 25th, 2022, would you recognize it?
Yes, I would.
Now, the record before counsel, witness would have been previously marked as stage 1B. The record reflects that I'm showing defense counsel. Judge, permission to approach the witness.
Yes, it's a standing permission. So,
Officer Nicholson, do you recognize this photo?
Yes, I do.
What is the photo?
The scene that we see of the incident.
The fair and accurate representation of the scene of the incident that you were dispatched to on June 25th, 2022.
Yes, it is.
Has it been altered in any way?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm going to evidence what was previously marked as 1.
it'll be admitted.
Exhibit 1B, mark identification, now will come to say exhibit 3, Judge.
Judge, permission to publish?
Sure.
And permission to have the officer step down?
Yes, we can step down. Okay.
Officer Nicholson, can you please tell the jury where is it that you saw the blood trails when you secured the scene?
So
Let's
initially,
hold it up high so everyone can see from both sides of the jury seating.
so initially, the victim was located here. When I'm walking on the body camera, to see me walking with my lieutenant, we start walking this way. The little trail goes around over here. There was blood pool here. I'm down along the backside of this duplex. There's this trampoline goes on this side of the trampoline around to these vehicles. Blood pool here, and then it comes up and then back right into you. There was, I'm sorry. On the secondary search, when I walked back by the vehicle, this is where the officers told me there was more blood in here.
Yes, you can come back.
Now, you mentioned earlier that once it's a homicide investigation, Miami-Dade takes over.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you contact a detective from Miami-Dade?
Yes, I did.
What detective was that?
I believe it was Detective Morales.
And did you brief Detective Morales when you got there as to what you learned, observed?
Correct.
Moment to confer, Judge.
Sure.
Judge, don't move back.
Any cross-examination?
Good morning, sir.
You mentioned that this area where you saw Mr. Jimenez, without the flashlights and the lights from your car, you agree it's a rather dark area?
I do.
Like you said, it was pitch black, correct?
Yes, sir.
When you arrived, Miss Link was with Mr. Jimenez, correct?
Correct.
Had she rendered aid to him?
I don't know that answer.
Okay. Do you recall whether or not he had a tourniquet on his leg?
He had shorts. He had a shirt. I don't know if it was off of him, but it was there. But I'm not 100% as far as a tourniquet. A physical tourniquet, I didn't see.
Okay. But when you arrived, did she wave you down? Did she help direct you to where she was, to where Mr. Jimenez was?
As I pulled into the alleyway, I could see her. She was standing there, and yes, she was waving me down.
And you stated a moment ago that at this juncture, this is not a homicide investigation. Right now, the only focus is render aid to this person, correct?
That's correct.
And that's what Miss Link was doing too, correct?
When I got there, I seen her standing there. I didn't see as far as rendering, unless you consider her flagging me down, then yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have.
Can you redirect?
No redirect. And the witness be excused?
Yes, you can step down and you're excused.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're gonna go ahead and take our lunch break now. It's 12:05. We'll come back we're gonna start promptly at 1:15. So it's a little bit more than an hour for you all to plan accordingly. I'm gonna ask that you all think about where you want to eat so that you do it as efficiently as possible so we can keep this moving. I will give you all coffee and snacks at 3 o'clock. We'll take a little mid-afternoon break. You can let Umberto know if traditional coladas are okay. That's what I normally get jurors, which is what it's the normal ask, and I have some sugary snacks. Please follow my instructions about not talking about this case with anyone, not doing any research on your own. I will ad nauseum repeat it over and over again just to remind everybody. I think that's all that I have for you all. Umberto will tell you where to meet him. It's probably going to be on the 3rd floor, but I'll let you all do that. You can go ahead and put your notepad in the envelope, make a little marking on the outside. It can be your initials, it can be a star, be a big old cross, whatever it is that identifies it as you. They are safe in the courtroom, and he'll make sure that you get them when we come back from lunch. All right, folks, thank you very much. Follow Umberto outside.
All right, for the jurors.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing. Every witness, every person that's related to this case, I've told them to ignore you. So no one should be talking to you about this case. If they do, tell me and tell Umberto immediately, all right? Thank you very much. I'll get you some tea. Okay. Is, do you have a preference between black or green or?
Green.
All right, green tea. All right.
Thank you.
All right, jurors have left, can be seated. I think you all heard Ms. Smith just asking for some green tea instead of coffee. That is the only thing she said. Okay, so, we're gonna be able to go through 5:30 p.m. today. I mean, up until 5:30 p.m. with witnesses.
We have about 4 or 5 officers outside ready to testify. I think that would probably be towards the end. I'm also filing a request for judicial notice. We can address this at any point in time. I've done a very thorough search for any documents related to the termination of parental rights. Florida law is very clear. An order actually needs to be entered. It can't just be by agreement. There is no such record from what I can see. I'm asking the court to take judicial notice of the lack of record.
All right, give Mr. Lamas an opportunity to digest this and we can address it later on today or tomorrow. Thank you. All right, we're adjourned for we'll take a break. We'll come back at 1:15. Thank you.
client is alert, she's looking at me, she's listening, so I'll just let you and her have that conversation.
And Judge, yes, and I'll advise her, don't even look that way, communicate with anybody, just keep your focus on this side.
I get emotions are high,
Yes.
and we all have to compartmentalize, and that's the way it's going to work in a court of law. The court will not tolerate anything less. Anything that I need to, anything else I need to adjust before we bring in another witness?
Nothing to consider.
I think we're ready based on. We're just gonna bring down the jurors. Call record for now, or going to just be close? I think we're close by, maybe about 10 seconds. So we'll start calling. Once the jury is seated, we turn on.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know we have sounds tomorrow.
This is sounding.
It is.
I think it can still be done by 10:30, because it's about 45 pages, which isn't bad for C sounding. And whatever we don't finish by 10:15 or so, I'll just leave it on the trial. The young man in the back is with who?
I don't know if I said it.
I need your name.
Victor.
With who? Which side? What's your last name? Who are you related to? Who are you related to?
No, just from the.
Are you in school?
No,
So what brought you to this courtroom? What brought you to this courtroom?
just a trial offer.
If you can't dispel my concerns, I'm gonna ask you to leave, so you have to be more specific. What brought you to this courtroom?
I always come here. I'm always around a bunch of trials.
I haven't seen you. You need to step outside until I talk to the lawyers and figure out if I'm gonna let you back in.
Okay.
Thank you. Does anyone recognize who he is?
No.
I didn't feel comfortable with him just saying, Victor, I'm a spectator, even though the courts are open to the public. Considering the attention this case has had, I don't feel safe for anyone who attended being here the way that he answered. I can have my bailiff follow up with him, or have the liaison follow up with him. I'll probably just have the liaison follow up, that way it's 1 degree of separation between me and my bailiff. So we'll do it like that. Yes, sir. I have a Benjamin here on Zoom, you know who that is? He hasn't identified himself, he's been here since this morning, so he's not an ASA or some lawyer, no. We're ready to go, we're touched, can I bring the jury? All right, let's go to the jury.
All right, the jury.
Scroll back, you can see it, the jurors are accounted for, lawyers. Wow. Looks like we're all seated. Next witness to the state, please.
Yes, the defense state calls Officer Dennis Aguilar to the stand.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear firm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You got it.
Permission to continue, Judge?
Yes.
Good afternoon, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, Dennis Aguilar,
Officer Aguilar, what department do you work for?
Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office,
And how long have you been in Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office?
since January of 2024.
And how long have you been an officer in total?
Total going on 7 years.
Now, back in June 25th, 2022, what department were you working for?
With the Homestead Police Department.
And what was your current assignment back on that night?
Road Patrol.
Did you respond, Officer Aguilar, to 1237 Northwest 14th Street?
Yes.
Can you please tell the jury what your role was?
Basically, we discovered someone that was in the alleyway and that had been shot. And basically, I was there just trying to separate the other party while they were trying to help them.
When you say the other party, can you say who that other party was?
The female, I forget her name, but the defendant.
The defendant in the case?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you speak to the defendant that night?
Yes.
Did you ask her what happened?
Yes.
What did she tell you happened?
She said that he had left the house 30 to 45 minutes ago.
I'll break it down. Who had left the house?
The victim.
Okay. You can continue.
Basically, she said that she heard him start screaming, and that's when she called the police.
So she told you the victim was at her house that night.
Yes.
Then she said she heard screaming.
Correct.
Did she tell you how she got to the alleyway?
She heard the screaming. I don't recall how she got there. I believe she drove.
No further questions, Judge.
No questions, Judge.
May the witness please?
Yes. Thank you. The next one.
Judge, at this time, state calls Officer Edwards to the stand.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Can you please introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everyone. Deputy Edwards with Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office.
Deputy Edwards, how long have you been a police officer?
A little bit over 8 years now.
And I know you mentioned you work for the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office now. Back on June 25th, 2022, what department did you work for?
Homestead Police Department.
And how long have you been an officer?
With Homestead?
Yes.
3 years.
Now, I want to direct your attention to June 25th, 2022. Did you respond that night to 1237 Northwest 14th Street?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please tell the jury what your role was when you got to the scene?
I was the backup officer. I arrived, rendered aid to the victim, and then I helped secure the scene.
Who were you a backup officer to?
Officer Nicholson.
Eventually that night, Officer Edwards, did you end up speaking to the defendant?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you end up speaking to her?
In the front of the residence.
About how long after that you arrived on scene to when you spoke to her, how much time had passed?
A few minutes, because she was there initially when we were rendering aid to the victim.
She mentioned you were speaking to her in her house.
In the front of the residence.
Okay. Now, what did she tell you when you spoke to her?
That the victim wasn't a bad guy. She doesn't know who would do this to him. That he provides for the family.
You mentioned she said that she told you the victim wasn't a bad person.
Correct.
Had you asked her about the victim and what he did for work?
She pretty much just said that he goes out of town about 3 or 4 weeks at a time and provides for the family.
Provides for the family. And what did she tell you anything about their relationship?
She advised they were together for about 10 years and that they've had their ups and downs. However, she didn't know who would possibly do this to him.
Did you ask her what happened, how he got shot?
I asked her, but she advised me that after he arrived home, they were watching fireworks and then he went for a walk.
So she mentioned to you that they were together that night at the house?
Correct.
And that they were watching fireworks?
Correct.
Okay. Now, did you, based on what she was telling you, Officer Edwards, and based on everything, did you believe she was the one who shot him based on what she was saying to you?
Province of the jury.
It's the same.
Move to strike.
There's no answer, there's no to strike. It's no sidewalk.
Officer Edwards, when you were speaking to the defendant in front of the house, was she arrested at this point?
No, ma'am.
Was she in handcuffs?
No, ma'am.
Was she free to go?
No, ma'am. I mean, she was free to go. She was not free to go.
Was she free to move around the area?
Oh,
of the
yes.
residence?
Yes, I let her move around.
Did you let her go in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you let her go outside of the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moment to confer, Judge. No further questions, Judge.
So, sir, just to be clear, she was not free to go, correct?
Correct.
So she was basically in custody at this point?
I wouldn't say in custody. I treated her as if she was a potential witness or involved to the incident. She was the wife of a deceased person, of a person who was shot.
Well, if she wasn't free to go, then obviously you, in your capacity as a law enforcement officer, you placed a restriction on her ability to leave. So she was, at least to some degree, in custody, correct?
And she was a witness to a homicide. She was a complaint.
In custody or not, sir?
She wasn't detained in custody.
All right. So you were asked specific questions about what she said to you. This conversation you had with her, was it recorded?
Sure was.
Okay. So the whole thing was recorded?
Yes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
Can you interrupt? No, Judge. No redirect. All right, you can step down.
Thank you.
Excuse, Judge, yes.
Chairman of State calls Officer Yadiel Rodriguez.
Raise your right hand, please. You solemnly swear firm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I do.
Good afternoon, Sergeant. Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Yadiel Rodriguez.
And how long have you been a police officer / sergeant?
Police officer, 13 years, sergeant, about a year now.
Okay. And what department do you work for today?
The Homestead Police Department.
Okay. And then how long have you worked in total then for the Homestead Police Department?
7 years now.
So then I want to take you back to June 25th of 2022. What was your role then in the Homestead Police Department?
I was a patrol officer.
Okay. Now, on that date, June 25th, were you dispatched to 1237 Northwest 14th Street in Homestead, Florida?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What exactly were you dispatched there in reference to?
The call came out, I believe it was a 214, a male that was shot, and he was located in the alleyway.
Do you mind explaining to the jury what a 214 is?
It's pretty much an emergency call, injuries, and then the dispatch advised that it was a male that had been shot.
Okay, so when you get those types of calls, is that your priority at the time then?
Yes, it's a priority call, so we go emergency mode, lights and fire.
So then you went to the scene then in emergency mode?
Yes.
All right, so about how long did it take for you to arrive then to that address?
Probably a couple minutes.
Minutes. And where exactly did you get in your car when you got there? Where were you?
When I arrived, I believe I parked on the east side of the alleyway. There was a couple officers already on scene. And then I started walking up towards where they said that they located the male. And I walked up the alleyway to where those units were at.
Okay, so what other officers or what people were there then in that alleyway?
I recall Officer Nicholson, who's now Sergeant Nicholson, Officer Chevalier, Officer Edwards, Officer Dennis Aguila. They were already on scene when I arrived.
So did you speak with any of them or did you just get to work?
When I walked up, there was a couple of officers next to the male that was on the ground with fire rescue, and then they asked me to go ahead and go speak to the female on scene and try to get her information.
Okay. Now, you didn't assign that role to yourself, did you?
No, it was the primary officer, Officer Nicholson, who was with the male, so he wanted me to start assisting him with getting the information from the female.
So then your role when you're on the scene is not to give out people assignments, it's just to do what you're being told right there then?
Yes, once you arrive, usually what happens is whoever's a primary officer who got assigned that call, they're the lead, unless the supervisor arrives there and starts delegating other tasks, but they're the lead, and then kind of get with them and see what they need.
So you've been now given the task to speak with who?
It was the female on scene. I don't recall her name. She was ended up being the guy's spouse or the guy's girlfriend.
And where was she located then?
She was off a couple feet off towards the front of the actual residence where she resided.
Now, when you first saw her, was she in handcuffs?
No, sir.
Was she walking around freely?
Yes, sir.
So then, as you're approaching her, how's her demeanor? What does she look like?
She looked anxious, a little irate.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with her?
Yes, I did.
What exactly were you talking about?
I asked her in reference to the male, if she knew who he was and what was his name. I asked him in reference to their relationship, and then if she knew what happened, and just asked her pretty much anything that she knew in reference to what happened that night.
So what did she tell you about what happened?
She said that he had left in a white van. She wasn't able to describe if it was a work van or a passenger van with some friends of his. And when he returned, he was very flustered, I think is what the exact word she used. And he started walking around the area, and then she started driving around trying to find him. And that's when she found him on the alleyway.
So did she ever tell you that she was with him, or that he came out of a white van?
She said that he came back after the white van and he would look flustered and he just started walking around the neighborhood.
So as an officer who's being given this information, what's going through your head then about what you're looking for?
We started obviously sharing the information in reference to the white van, trying to locate that. I asked her in reference to the friends if she knew who they were, their names. She said no. And we just try to get whatever information we can in reference to obviously the statements that she's given.
So no names of who was driving it. Any time? Were you given any time that this van was in the area?
No, she said it had been several minutes, but she wasn't able to tell us the exact time frame.
Okay. Did her story seem consistent with what you observed on the scene?
At that time, no. Like I said, from what she was standing, she said she was driving around. The male was located in the alleyway, and he was like kind of behind some houses and stuff. So, me driving around, I wouldn't know how you'd be able to see him from the roadway.
Okay. So, did she ever go into detail about how she found the victim, or did she not talk about that with you?
No, the only thing she said, she was driving around and she saw him on the alleyway.
Now, Sergeant Rodriguez, did you have body-worn camera on that night?
Yes, I did.
And how exactly does that body-worn camera work?
Once we get out of the vehicle, we usually activate, and then it starts recording. Usually, once you turn it on, it takes, I think, depending on which mode you have it in, on sleep mode or ready mode, it records 30 seconds back. There's just no audio, and then the audio starts once you actually activate.
Okay. So was your body-worn camera then activated that night?
Yes.
I'm now showing the defense just been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1E. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to review that?
Yes.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of your body-worn camera on June 25th, 2022?
Yes.
Your Honor, State moves to introduce what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1E into evidence at this time.
State Exhibit 1E, marked for identification, now becomes State Exhibit 4, Judge.
Your Honor, permission to publish State's Exhibit 4?
How long is it since you have a preview?
Yes, Your Honor, it's about 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
Date breakfast?
18, and bed.
What's your address?
Right here at 1237 Northwest 14th Street.
And what's his name now?
His name is Pedro Jimenez.
And where does he live?
Lives at 956 Northwest, Fort Terrace, Florida City, Florida 33034. Please, please, breathing, please.
And what's his date of birth, do you know?
It's 5689.
And what's your relationship with him?
I've been with him for 9 years.
So you're married, just going out?
I've been with him for 9 years. I have 2 years with him.
Do you know where he was at tonight?
He was here.
The whole time?
No, he was here off and on. He initially was with some of his fucking friends. I don't know what the fuck their name is. And he came back home and he was flustered. He was really flustered. And he wouldn't talk to me. He kept fucking leaving over and over again, walking around, over and over again, walking around, coming back, walking around, coming back, walking around, coming back. And finally you could hear him, you could hear a wail, you could hear him wailing. And I drove around to see. The second time I went through, I see him laying on the floor.
I didn't say you could hear money.
You could hear somebody screaming, help. When I see him, he was bleeding everywhere. He was bleeding everywhere. I only found one. I only found one hole in his leg. I don't know if there's another one. I only found one.
And when you say he was walking around, what was he walking around? His neighborhood? Or just a certain place?
I don't know if it was just in the same place or if it was all around the neighborhood. I don't know. The last time I saw him before this, it was about 30, 45 minutes.
Where was he?
When I found him, exactly where he was. Walking. I saw him walking this way. Walking through here. Walking this way. Walking through here.
So on the record?
On this side, this way.
Do you know the friend's name that he was with?
No, I don't.
What did they look like?
He just left in a white van.
Yep.
Is he breathing?
Just,
No, is he breathing?
you said the type of white van was it?
I don't fucking know. It's just a white van. I don't know.
Was that the work van? Was it past?
I don't know. It was a white van. He's trying to see if he's breathing.
There was one now. Yeah, I didn't take it. Is he your housemate or is he your boyfriend? How many friends was he with? Can you please come over here, please? Yes. You're just trying to get the information. I love this. Yes. 5, 6, 11. 6. Yeah. So those are for us. Will you carry? Okay. Yeah, keep it on. Yeah, we got a date. You just said you have to take, just give us a few minutes. There's people with him right now. I don't even go over there. Mom, simply take it on the single day.
Please.
What is the need for me to go over there? There's already people over there.
Please, can you just see if
Please go behind the
Can
table.
you please see if he's
What's the
breathing?
most fun thing about it? Let me know. We're trying to get out of
Can you please just see if he's breathing, please?
I need you to listen to me. Please go behind the table.
Now, after watching your body on camera, when you were speaking with the defendant, did she know at this point in time who the victim was?
Yes.
And did she tell you about the relationship?
Yes.
Did you learn about the victim's job at that time through your conversation with her?
Yes, she said he was a truck driver.
And did you understand what the defendant meant when she said, he's not into that shit?
No.
Now, what did you do after you had this conversation?
At this point, I went over to Officer Nicholson, who was the primary officer on scene that day. I handed him the information that I gathered from the defendant, the victim's name and information. I gave it to him, and then I don't know if you can hear on the radio, there was quite a few calls pending, so I started to head out to where my vehicle was to go, handle the other calls. And I think on the way back, I spotted like a trail of blood, and I had to come back and advise him again. And then after that, I left.
So you noticed a trail of blood. How much blood was it? Was it a lot?
It was a lot.
Now, where exactly do you remember the spot of that blood?
From the alleyway, and I kind of followed it in between two vehicles, so there's about two like puddles of blood there.
Do you notify anyone?
Yes, I spoke to Officer Edwards, and I advised him of it, and then, like I said, I had to go back to answer, to help out with the other calls that were pending on the city.
Now, do other officers that are responding there with you have body-worn camera?
Yes, sir.
I'm now showing defense what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1H. Now, do you recognize that?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to review that body-worn camera?
Yes.
Is it your body-worn camera, though?
No.
But did you see yourself on there?
Yes.
And is it a fair and accurate representation of what you saw and what you were doing on June 25th, 2022?
Yes.
Your Honor, State moves to introduce what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1H into evidence at this time.
State Exhibit 1H, marked for identification, now becomes State Exhibit 5, Judge.
And how long is it? So we just have a preview of what to expect?
Yes, Your Honor, 2 minutes. Your Honor, permission to publish State's Exhibit 5?
What's supposed to be all in your plan?
The front of the house now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't get anything out of it, right? Like, you haven't heard what happened. The wife didn't get it. 18, without a conscience, and then. Damn, bro. This dude put out a lot.
Have you looked at the satellite on this?
Oh, the way it's went up.
Like a lot. There's a left photo there, the way it's flat.
The way it's like full.
No, not full, but it's flat. Like your mom's flat. Now it's coming in an angle type shit, it's not like these, that's just
Right, straight down.
around. No, like in and out, is it?
Wow.
What's supposed to be all in your plan?
The front of.
So, what did we just see you there doing?
We were following the trail of blood, and then we located in between the vehicles a couple different puddles of blood.
Now, we heard a little bit of conversation regarding splatter. Are you a blood expert or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. So you were just speaking out loud about what you were observing, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, what exactly were your roles then throughout this entire investigation?
I was just assisting. My role mainly was to gather the information from the defendant and the information that I could gather for the victim. And then once I was able to grab that, like I said, I had to end up leaving to go assist with the other calls that were pending in the city.
So you completed your role and then you left?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this wasn't your investigation, right?
No, sir.
You were just doing your job?
Correct.
Your Honor, no further questions.
Any cross-examination?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's no cross-examination, you can step down. Ready to state your next witness?
Yes, Your Honor. State call Detective Suyapa Hubbard.
Detective Hubbard?
Yes.
Hubbard.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
Do you mind please stating your name for the record?
My name is Suyapa Hubbard.
And what is your current occupation?
I am a deputy sheriff.
And how long have you been a deputy sheriff?
I have been a deputy sheriff for 16 years.
So, what is your current assignment with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office?
I am assigned to the Homicide Bureau as a homicide detective.
And how long have you been a homicide detective?
5 years.
Now, within those 5 years, do you receive any type of specialized training or have to do any training?
Yes.
What exactly is it?
Well, it's investigating, learning how to investigate homicides. There's different aspects of deaths and how to identify and collect evidence and how to do that properly.
So, were you working as a homicide detective on June 24th and 25th of 2022?
Yes.
And how exactly did you first get involved here in this case with Ms. Link?
So we work as a team concept and my team was on call. I received a phone call that a homicide had taken place and I was requested to respond and assist with the investigation.
So you just said you work as a team.
Yes.
What do you mean? How do homicide detectives work as a team? What do you guys do?
How it's organized, there's a sergeant assigned, and then you have a team of either 3, 4, or 5 detectives that work together each investigation.
Now, are you guys given specific roles or are you all the lead in this?
No. Typically, the sergeant will assign a detective within that team as the lead. So the lead then will assign the other detectives different tasks.
Okay. Did you respond to 1237 Northwest 14th Street in Homestead, Florida?
I did, yes.
Now, that's in Homestead, and you said you're with the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. How do you get called out to Homestead?
Because there's certain jurisdictions within Miami-Dade County that do not have a homicide team. Therefore, there's an agreement between the Sheriff's Office and those municipalities. And so we go in and we investigate homicides that happen within those jurisdictions.
Now, this address that you responded to, is that in Miami-Dade County?
Yes.
Okay. So, around what time did you arrive to the scene?
I arrived at the scene at 6:18 in the morning on Saturday.
Okay. And when you arrived, was the victim already determined to be deceased?
Yes.
Okay. So when you first get to the scene, who do you speak with first?
Well, I made contact with my sergeant, Jason Wade,
What exactly did you learn from your conversation with your sergeant?
My sergeant then indicated that Detective Joseph Cruz was going to be assigned as the lead detective for this case.
Okay. Did you ever speak with Detective Cruz?
Yes.
And did he give you any specific tasks or assignments?
Yes. Detective Cruz requested that I document and work with crime scene, with the scene portion of the scene of the investigation, and also to document the body.
Okay. So you said your task is to document, but what specifically are you documenting?
I'm documenting the scene, so taking note of everything specifically of evidentiary value within that scene, and to determine how big that scene is, and just note everything that's in there.
So in order to document the scene, do you ever have to do a walkthrough of the entire area, or?
Yes, so preliminarily, once the crime scene detectives arrive, we're gonna work together to make sure that we don't miss anything. And we at first do a walkthrough through the scene.
And what did you learn from your walkthrough?
Well, that there was blood throughout quite an extensive scene, which started on the west side of the duplex. So the duplex that we were responding to is 1237. Just to the north of that, attached to that structure, is another duplex, which is 1255. There was a large tree just west of that entrance to 1255, and that tree had blood on the exposed roots. So once I see that, that's my starting point for where I see blood. Then following the trail, I follow that trail towards the southern part in between that structure of duplexes and another structure of duplexes that are just west of the 1237 and 1255. There was a large concrete pad. In that concrete pad, there's 3 sets of droplets, and they are traveling west and south. From that pad, there's also a concrete walkway that exits out to the southern part of those other set of duplexes on the west side. There was vehicles there. I followed the blood trail through those vehicles. There was 3 vehicles parked from east to west. There was a white pickup, there was a gray SUV, and then there's a green pickup. In between the gray SUV and the green pickup, there was blood. Specifically, I saw a lot of blood on that passenger door of the green pickup and on like the step up, on a step that's on the outside of that pickup truck. The blood trail then follows west into a grassy area. That grassy area is on the west side of the west structure of duplexes. I follow that blood trail towards an alleyway that's on the north side. There's a vehicle right before you enter the alleyway. That vehicle also had blood. I follow the trail then now into the alleyway, and just west of the trail, I observed the victim's body covered with a yellow tarp.
Now, I'm now showing defense what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1C. It is. I have State's Exhibit 3 here, as well as C. Do you recognize this image and the second image?
Yes.
Is this a fair and accurate representation of the property that you were just describing?
Yes.
You want to state moves to introduce with the mark for identification purposes, State's Exhibit 1C into evidence.
No objection.
Stay Exhibit 1C, marked for identification, now becomes Stay Exhibit 6.
And Your Honor, permission for the detective to stand?
Yes. Just like with the other witness, as high as possible, so both sides will be able to see.
Yes, Your Honor.
Remember, what's been introduced in evidence will go back in with you into the witness.
Now, detective, where exactly did you start following this blood trail? If you could just mark it for the jury.
Okay. There's this large tree here, and then these are the duplexes that I was referring to. So I started the blood trail. I noticed I started here at the roots of this tree.
Yeah.
What would you like?
You can mark a circle. And then where did you finish following the blood trail to?
Here, the vehicles that I was telling you. So there's this concrete pad here. You go through here. This is that green pickup where I saw a lot of the blood. Then the trail goes on this grassy area along the west side, following this other vehicle where I told you I saw blood. And then this is the entrance to the alleyway. So following this, all the way to under these trees here, that's where the box is.
Thank you. So, when you said you arrived to where the body was located, you saw that it was covered in a yellow blanket.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Well, it's to preserve the evidence and preserve the body and to give respect to that deceased person as well.
Can you tell us a little bit about the body?
Yes. The victim's body was supine on the ground, and there was a gunshot wound to the right thigh.
What do you mean by supine?
Face up. He was laying face up.
Now, the gunshot wound was left or right thigh?
Right.
Do you have to, as you had said, you're documenting the scene and the body, so what does that mean? What are you doing with the body then?
I have to examine the body, touch the body, take the clothing so it can be documented. If we see any defects on it, that gets also documented along with crime scene. So they'll be taking photographs of everything that I'm showing them. So also of the wounds, we document the wounds with a photograph, and I also take notes and document it for my report.
Okay. What was the victim wearing then when you were observing the body?
So the victim had on a gray tank top, black shorts, black underwear, black socks, and black shoes with a white sole.
Can you describe the condition of the clothes?
The clothing was blood soiled, and like the shorts had, hole where the gunshot wound went through, and it was wet and soiled.
So after you document this and make all your observations, what's the next step in your investigation?
After that, I coordinate with the medical examiners, and they're going to take the body to the medical examiner's department for a autopsy. And after that, I assist with whatever else is next to do in the scene or with the case. In this case, I interviewed an individual by the name of Joel Gramajo Perez.
Okay. And who was Joel Gramajo Perez?
A neighbor.
Now, after you speak with this neighbor, do you document this conversation?
I did, yes.
And where does that lead you to next?
So after I conclude that interview with him, I assisted with a search warrant and a search by K-9 Detective Victor Gill.
Okay. So let's break that up. We have two separate things there. You're executing a search warrant. What are you doing? What are you looking for? What's the goal of that?
The search warrant was of the 1237 Northwest 14th Street. And the goal of that is to collect more evidence, see what else we can find in there that can help us piece together the events that took place and that led to the victim's death.
Did you locate anything inside the home then, you and your fellow officers?
Yes.
What did you discover?
There was a Ring camera that was collected.
Now, after all those observations and executing the warrant, you had mentioned that there's a K-9 unit as well too.
Yes.
Did you call that K-9 unit, or were they just helping you on the scene?
I don't recall if it was myself personally that called them, but they do get called out to all of our homicide investigations, especially those that involve guns shootings. They have a dog that is trained to detect ballistic evidence. So whether it's a gun, a bullet, a spent casing, that's what they do. They're pretty good.
Okay. But you're not the one that's handling the K-9, you're just observing?
Correct. I happen to be on scene, but that is something that is completely done by the K-9 detective and his K-9.
Okay. If they locate anything, do they inform you?
Yes.
Did they locate anything?
They did. So Detective Gill told me that the dog hit on...
Without telling us the contents, did you see him locate anything?
Yes. A gun was located inside an areca palm in front of or west of 1237.
Okay. Was it on someone else's property?
No.
Okay, that palm tree was then on whose property then?
It's just west of the front door of 1237 Northwest 14th Street.
Now, after you accompanied the detective that located that, what did you do next?
Okay, so once we have a gun, it gets documented with crime scene, like everything else that we document together. So it's photographed and then it gets impounded so that it can get further testing on it. After that, I made notification to the victim's family.
And is that something that you have to do as part of every homicide investigation?
Yes.
And who did you notify?
I spoke to the victim's father.
Now, did you do anything else on Saturday, June 25th, 2022?
No.
When's the next time that you get back involved with this investigation again then?
The very next morning, I returned back to the scene.
Now, what do you do when you're back on the scene?
Well, I requested for another K-9 detective to respond to conduct a secondary search for ballistic evidence.
Why is it important then to do a secondary search then?
So as the investigation evolves, we learn more information. In this case, we learned the defendant said that the shooting took place on the east side of 1237 Northwest 14th Street, which would be the rear side of that duplex. Therefore, we need to go and look for evidentiary, anything of evidentiary value at that point, more specifically casing or anything of ballistic value.
Okay. Is this the same canine unit from the day before, or is this a new canine unit?
No, this is a different canine unit.
So, did that canine unit locate anything? Because I know you had mentioned the first one had found a firearm, but did this unit find anything?
No, their search yielded negative results. There was nothing else found.
Did any of the canine units find any type of shell casing of a bullet?
No.
So after this secondary search with another canine unit, where do you go next?
Well, I had right before we call them, they have to come out. So there was a gap of time. I went and accompanied one of my team members, Detective Morales, to go view a surveillance camera that we had found.
What did you see in that footage?
In that footage, at 3:13 in the morning, the victim is observed on the alleyway. Shortly after that, the defendant's vehicle is observed driving from west to east on the alleyway. Then at 3:21, that vehicle approaches from the west towards the east, and the victim's body is laying on the ground. The defendant exits the vehicle, runs towards where the victim is, goes back to the vehicle, and then returns back to where the victim is and starts tending to the victim.
And you saw that video footage firsthand?
Yes, I did.
So, after you review that footage, is it your job then to collect that video footage?
No.
Okay. Someone else's job then?
Correct.
So, where does your investigation then go next?
Then after I saw the video, then I went and made contact with the other canine detective. After I do that, I went back to try to make contact with the victim's mother.
And did anything else happen on Sunday, June 26th of 2022?
No.
Was that the end of your investigation?
No. I continued to look for leads. I did an area canvas, basically go door to door to talk to all the neighbors. I also went back to talk to the victim's family. There was an individual, and all we had was that his name was Kevin. But we wanted to interview him because I learned that the victim had spent some time with Kevin right before he got killed. So I wanted to know the specifics of that. And I also knew that there was a woman that went to look for the victim, and then the victim left, and that was the last time that Kevin saw the victim alive.
So you didn't know Kevin's last name at first, correct?
I did not.
Did you eventually find it out?
Yes.
And what was his full name then?
Kevin Bonilla.
Okay. So overall, did you do anything else in this investigation?
No.
So then, one last time, what exactly was your role then in this homicide investigation?
To document and process the scene and the body. I also interviewed a neighbor. I then talked to the victim's family, and I also conducted an area canvass of all of the houses within the area so that I can speak to anyone, and basically just looking for any witnesses that can help us piece this together.
Your Honor, a moment to confer. Your Honor, the state has no further questions at this time.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, I think your testimony was that Joseph Cruz was the lead detective in this case, correct?
Correct.
Were you working under him, or were you his co-lead? I mean, what was your role more specifically in this case?
As I stated before, he was a lead, yes, and he tasked me with the scene and the body portion of the case.
Okay. Other than the specific task that you yourself performed, or as one of the detectives, you're privy to the rest of the information in the investigation, correct?
Yes.
Now, Detective Cruz at some point interviewed Miss Link, correct?
Yes.
Were you present for that interview?
I was not.
You were not. Can you tell us whether or not any of Mr. Jimenez's belongings, clothes, personal effects, things of that nature, whether there were any of such items in that home on that night?
I don't recall. You would have to ask the detective that took the lead on that search. I was just merely assisting.
And I intend to, but as somebody who's privy to all the details of the investigation, as you sit here right now, are you saying that you're not able to tell us whether or not Pedro Jimenez had any belongings in this home, which the state has claimed was his home at that time?
No, I cannot answer that. I was not tasked with that documentation.
Thank you. No further questions.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. So, Detective, you're not the one that's personally executing the search warrant, correct?
Correct.
There are other officers that have that role?
That's correct.
Okay. And your main job was to document just the items associated with the actual homicide, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, just because you don't remember what was found inside the home doesn't mean stuff was found inside the home, correct?
Correct. That's why we work as a team, because it's a lot of information and we want to capture everything and be extremely detailed. So that's why we have to divide the tasks to make sure that everything is done correctly.
And that was not your task, correct, to search inside the home and document that?
That's correct.
Your Honor, the state has no further questions.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge, at this time, the state calls Robert Cisneros to the stand.
Is he an officer? I'm sorry, is he an officer?
No, Judge. He's a firefighter. Can you remark this one? Firefighter, Judge.
Firefighter.
Yes.
But he wasn't, not on the scene.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Robert Cisneros.
Mr. Cisneros, what do you do for a living?
I'm a firefighter paramedic,
And what department do you work for as a firefighter?
City of Miami,
How long have you been a firefighter?
22 years.
And where do you currently live?
1300 Northwest 15th Street in Homestead, Florida.
How long have you lived in the Homestead area?
All my life since I was a child, with that particular residence since 2000.
Now, I want to direct your attention to June 25th, 2022. Were you working that night?
I was working that night.
Around what time would you say you got home that night?
I get off shift about 7:30, so it takes me about 45 minutes to get home, so about 8:15, 8:20.
So you got home 8:15, 8:20 on June 25th, the morning of June 25th?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And as you were getting home, approaching your neighborhood in Homestead, did you see anything?
On 15th Street, which is also 304th Street, as I'm approaching my house, there's an elementary school, and then there's 12th Avenue. I did see a big police presence down that side street. And then, but yeah, to answer the question, I did see a lot of police presence.
You mentioned you saw a lot of police presence. Did the police ever try and go speak to you at your house that morning?
Yes, they did later in the morning.
Why did they go speak to you?
They, I believe I'm not mistaken, it was initially a Homestead police officer, because they did notice that my cameras in the back of my residence, one of them does point towards the alleyway that's behind my property.
You mentioned that you have a camera in the back of your residence that points towards the alleyway.
Yes.
How close is your house to that alleyway, would you say?
My backyard is very small. My property line, it's from the back of my house to the property line or the fence is about 5 feet. I pretty much don't have much of a backyard. So the camera does, it's not really intended to look into the alleyway, but it does see some aspects of the alleyway.
So it's close to the alleyway?
Yeah, it's very close.
And how many cameras do you have in total in your house?
I want to say I have 7.
What type of cameras are they?
Digital. They're hardwired. They're not internet connected cameras. They digitally records to a digital video recorder that's inside my house.
Okay. If I were to show you, Mr. Cisneros, a photo taken of the scene of your house that shows those cameras facing that alleyway, would you recognize it?
Yes.
Now directing court counsel and witness to what has been previously marked as 1I. Let the record reflect that I show defense counsel. Judge, permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
Mr. Cisneros, do you recognize this photo?
Yes.
What is that photo of?
That is the back of my house.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of the back of your house on June 25th, 2022?
Yes.
Has it been altered in any way?
No.
Your Honor, I now move into evidence what has been previously marked as 1I.
No objection. Thank you. So you
State exhibit 1I marked for identification now becomes state exhibit 7, Judge.
Permission to publish, Judge, to the jury. Now, Mr. Cisneros, were your cameras recording that night?
Yes, they were.
And did the officers that came to your house, you mentioned they wanted access to that camera?
Yeah. Initially, the Homestead police officers asked if they were working, and I did let them know they were. And then later on, I believe Dade County detectives showed up, and they wanted to see the footage, and I allowed them into my house, and we reviewed the footage of that night.
So you mentioned detectives came to your house to see the footage. How many detectives came to see that footage?
If I recall correctly, it was a female detective and a male detective. Unfortunately, sorry, I don't know forgot their names.
No worries. Did you show them the footage?
Yes, we went over together. I was standing next to them when we saw what they were looking for, what they wanted to look for.
Were you standing next to them the entire time that footage was playing?
Yes.
What did you see in that footage that you reviewed with the detectives that day, Mr. Cisneros?
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay, best evidence.
Sustained.
Judge, may we go sidebar?
Sure. Get yourself familiar with it. It's also not a bad idea to have a comfort break an hour or so after lunch. If the coffee's ready, I'll bring it in now with the snacks, so I'll ask the set for that. So we'll be in there for about 10 minutes, okay, so.
All right, the jury.
It looks like they are. If the state can lay the foundation of how this evidence is quote unquote not available at this time. I don't know if you're gonna be able to get into this witness.
I am, Judge.
He's gonna say what?
So if I can proffer to the court, this witness will testify that he was present when the detectives tried to remove the DVR to then take it to recording, but within that process, it got destroyed. This witness will testify to that.
Well, we can lay the foundation, it seems like we can get it in, meaning what he saw, which is substantively, evidence, his
Yes, Judge.
observations.
Yes.
Instead of the actual surveillance from his, video system, right?
Yes, Judge, he saw this video.
Okay. Do you want to object or do you want to be heard?
I want to voir dire the witness about what happened with the technical issues.
So why don't we bring him in before we actually, have him testify in front of the jury, like a cleaner way to do that.
And Judge, I will preference that defense can voir dire this witness. However, the court is aware that we have two witnesses, one being an expert in the DVR process who will best describe and will testify how exactly this video got destroyed.
Yeah, but you want him.
Understood, Judge.
Well, you want him to testify before these other two, right?
Yes.
So if I understand your proffer, he's not only gonna lay the foundation for this quote unquote missing evidence, he's also going to tell us what the evidence is, right?
Yes, Judge. Thank
So
you
why
so
don't
much.
we call the other two witnesses maybe before, or maybe call him after those two witnesses? It sounds like you wanna lay the foundation. Additionally, you wanna lay additional foundation with those two other witnesses, right? Regarding his home surveillance?
Yes.
So are they outside?
No, Judge, they're not outside right now.
Why don't we bring him back in? And then we'll give the defense an opportunity to go back.
Danny Morales is outside, but Zuleika Fernandez, who's the video forensic retrieval expert, is testifying tomorrow.
So, but you guys believe that based on his testimony today, you can lay the foundation to get the substance
Yes.
into evidence?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and bring him in.
That's fine.
You have.
Okay, we're just gonna go back on the witness stand, Mr. Cisneros, thank you. Okay, state, why don't you lay the foundation, or Mr. Gomez, you wanna go before the state, or you wanna walk right in? You can do that before the state.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So first off, tell me about this camera system that you had.
It's a little on the older side. It's a digital video recorder. All the cameras are hardwired to it. Like I mentioned before, none of them transmit. There's no Wi-Fi access to them direct to each camera. All the recordings go to a digital video recorder.
So the cameras are, these are hardwired cameras, they're a little older.
Yeah,
They all transmit what they record to a DVR machine, right?
yeah, through a wire, not through
Through a wire.
signal. Yeah,
Through a wire. DVR machine is in your home, I presume?
yes,
Did the police take the DVR machine at some point?
yes, because they attempted to download the image that they wanted at my house, but they couldn't do it for whatever reason. So the forensics personnel from Dade County took the DVR to their lab. But in the process, unfortunately, the video was gone.
Well, you weren't present when that happened, right?
No.
You don't know how the video became destroyed or deleted?
No, I mean, I can only speculate, but
No, I don't want you to speculate.
no, in the process from them taking the DVR to their lab, and they had it for some time. I can't give you an exact timeline, maybe a few weeks.
Did you get it back?
They returned it.
Alright. So when you got it back, was it working?
It still worked. Just that whatever it does record, it's just that for whatever reason, I guess when it was without power for so long, the hard drive just it doesn't hold the memory.
When you got it back, were any of the old videos still on it?
No, there was nothing on it. The memory was blank.
So before the police took it from your home, the DVR, it had footage from that day and before, correct?
Yes.
None of that footage was available on the DVR when you got it back, correct?
No.
All right. Now you're not able to say whether the machine deleted it on its own or whether it was deleted by somebody else.
No, I can't.
Okay.
I want to pause and let the sender on there.
So I want to back up a little bit. You said that you played this video for some police officers and you stood there with them while they watched.
Yes.
Now, when they were watching it, is it on, do you have a monitor that's just for playing the different camera angles?
My main TV in my living room, that's where the digital video recorder is located adjacent to it. So I can see the cameras through that, my TV.
All right, and how many different cameras are there?
There are 7.
7. So on that one TV, you can see 7 different screens, correct?
Yes.
And you watched this with how many other officers?
I want to say initially, if I'm not mistaken, I did show it to the first Homestead police officer that arrived. And then some time later in the day, the 2 detectives from Dade County arrived and I showed them the same thing.
Okay, so you showed it to a Homestead police officer first. Is that a uniformed officer?
Uniformed officer, yeah.
Did he have a body-worn camera?
I don't
You
know.
have a little box that looked like a camera on his chest?
I can't recall.
Can you tell me what his name was?
No.
Okay. So you did that first, and then you did it with 2 other officers?
Yeah, 2 the Dade County detectives. They were in like office style, plain clothes.
Plain clothes detectives?
Yes.
Did they have any body-worn camera or other type of recording device?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. But it did play, correct?
Yes, it did play.
So at what point did you learn that it wasn't working, or did you not learn that?
Not that day, because the forensics team actually arrived to my house because they wanted to download it directly, but they just, for whatever reason, they couldn't download it right there, so they wanted to take the device to their lab. So then that, like I mentioned before, in that process, in between taking it to the lab, that video that we saw was gone.
So it sounds like you viewed it on 2 occasions. The first occasion with 1 officer from Homestead, and the second occasion with 2 detectives, correct?
Yes.
The first occasion with the Homestead officer, did he make any attempts to record it in any other way?
No.
Okay. And it was working fine as far as you know on that occasion?
Yes.
On the second occasion when there were 2 detectives, the video was working fine as far as you know, correct?
Yes.
Did those detectives make any efforts to record it at that juncture?
No.
No. So somebody picked it up, and when they left with it, as far as you knew at that time, was it working fine?
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with the video, it played fine?
Correct.
All 7 cameras were functional as far as you knew?
Yes.
Until the police took it and left your home?
Correct.
Now, you mentioned a moment ago that they were trying to download it?
Yeah,
At your
because
house?
it does have a USB port.
Okay.
And which I'm not really tech savvy, so I don't know what the purpose of the USB port is, maybe to install an accessory device or something else. So I believe they tried to connect it that way to download the images. But like I said, the digital video recorder is an older model, so maybe the software, their software didn't integrate to the software in the digital video recorder.
So is it fair to say they tried to download it there, didn't work, so what, they said, we gotta take it with us?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's all I have, Judge.
Okay. So, you can step outside.
Okay.
So Judge, specifically based on the TDR case, which I believe you already reviewed, they have to establish that it was lost or destroyed. I don't know what happened, neither does he. So I need to hear from those other witnesses.
So, before he can testify about what he saw on that video, the foundation hasn't been able to, he hasn't connected the dots. State, do you want to be heard?
Yes, Judge, they would like to be heard. Judge, we heard testimony from the witness that said he showed the detectives this video. The detectives attempted to download the video. They couldn't download it. This witness also testified as to the age of the cameras. He said that they weren't new cameras, they were older cameras. That this streaming was connected through not a DVR or anything, it was connected to a cable, Judge. He also testified as to them trying to download it, it didn't work, therefore they took the DVR, and he testified when they got the DVR back, every single video, even the ones from before that night, were deleted, Judge. The state is arguing that that is sufficient to establish that this witness has knowledge that the contents that he's trying to testify to, that he saw simultaneously while watching that video, is enough that it got lost, destroyed under the exceptions to the best evidence rule 90.954.
He doesn't know what happened to it, and they need to establish it.
He does.
Hold on, we're not gonna argue about this. It's gonna be the state law, I can't go back to
No,
the
Judge, I'm gonna make the argument. He does, and he's testified.
She's doing a fine job.
I know she is, but as the lead prosecutor on the case with the most knowledge about this case, I can speak to what every single witness in this case is going to testify to. I have the utmost respect for Ms. DeLeon, that's why she's the second chair on this case. But again, I've been preparing this case a lot longer. He does, and he's testified he knows what happened to it. When he got it back, it didn't exist. They tried to download it. It was retrieved by an expert. They tried to download it. They couldn't. They took it, and then it was gone.
Was it corrupted in front of him or destroyed? Lost in front of him?
That doesn't matter.
So you use the words maybe, I guess.
But again, what the court, we're conflating issues on whether or not so 9954 says in order for this to be admissible, it can be destroyed, they can talk about it, so long as it is not made in bad faith. There is nothing that defense can bring up to say that this is bad faith, that it was destroyed in bad faith. He is absolutely able to testify about what his observations were, and then I can bring in my expert tomorrow. I've already spoken to her on the phone. She's planning on testifying tomorrow. She will be my first witness called if I need to, and everything she can testify to about it being downloaded, it getting corrupted, it not being able to play, those things will come in, so we can subject it to link up, but he is absolutely able to testify to all of this now and his actual observations.
So doesn't have personal knowledge of that faith. You may have to call him again.
We are.
You may get to where you want, you just can't get it.
Well,
what he testified
right.
to now.
So then we have to stop today, now. We're gonna stop his testimony. We're gonna have to bring in Zuleika Fernandez as our first witness, and then he will be recalled immediately. So we have to stop.
Unfortunately.
No, I'm just saying, I'm letting the court know this is.
Is there anything else you want to get into evidence with him today regarding laying the foundation?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna call him back in. He's gonna sit here, and then Ms. DeLeon can either finish or follow up with any questions. I'll allow cross-examination, redirect if appropriate, and then he will just be dismissed for the day.
Sure.
Judge, my questions, were about the video, and that's all he was going to testify to, so I would just, at this point, say I have no questions for today.
You're gonna do it in front of the jury?
Yes, no.
Alright, so let's knock on the door, so it's done the talking, and start with that. No, stay on record. We need a couple. I'm good. No, I
All rise for the jurors. We're missing one judge.
Alright, you can be seated, all jurors are for the defense, the state attorney, you can see the state.
Judge, at this time, the state has no further questions for this witness today.
So we have further questions for you today, we see if the defense has any cross-examination.
Hello again, sir.
No,
Little deja vu for you.
a little bit.
So, again, tell me about this camera system that you had in your house. How does it work?
They're hardwired, mounted on the exterior of my house. They all are hardwired to one digital video recorder that's in my living room.
So we're talking about 7 cameras that are connected to a wire. This wire goes to a DVR hard drive.
Yes.
And it all gets saved onto this DVR hard drive.
Yes.
And am I correct that you can view all 7 camera feeds at the same time on a screen?
Yes, you can. You could highlight each individual camera on the screen, but yeah, you can see all of them at the same time.
All right. Now, I'm not going to get into the contents. We're not going to talk about that right now.
Okay.
But as far as you know, on at least 2 occasions that the police went to your house to view this footage, it was working fine, correct?
Correct.
And other than the footage from the day in question, you had footage from other days on the DVR as well, correct?
Yes. I can't give you an exact time span, but I think it's maybe like a month's worth of recordings that it can hold.
And it had about a month's worth of recording at the time?
Yes.
At some point, police took the DVR from you and they took it with them, correct?
Correct.
At that point, when they took it out of your house, as far as you knew, all that footage was there and it was working fine, correct?
Objection, Judge, facts not evidence. Outside the scope of the record.
Okay, same, just gonna ask another question.
Okay.
You were able to view surveillance on 2 occasions before the police took the DVR, correct?
Objection, Judge, facts not evidence outside the scope of the record.
Same, just gonna ask another question.
At some point, you got your DVR back, correct?
Correct.
Objection, Judge, facts not evidence.
Hold on, overruled.
At some point, you got your DVR back, right?
Yes.
How long after?
It's been so long. I want to say it was several weeks, maybe close to a month that they had it.
When you got the DVR back you got it back from the police?
Yes.
Was there any footage on the DVR when you received it back from the police?
No.
It was gone.
Yeah, it was gone.
All right, thank you. That's all I have to.
Anything else?
No regard for today, Judge.
Your seat.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next witness, please.
Judge, we have nothing for that.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, guys, can you go back into the room?
All rise for the jurors.
career is that. Thank you for being safe. I would have appreciated a heads up, because I didn't know who was the last witness.
I told you. Why not?
I missed it. Did I miss Mr. Velasco? This was the last witness for the day?
We had more witnesses, but they were going to testify to what the court is saying. We cannot have them testify to.
Their observations was on.
Correct.
How many did you call today?
5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we're going to be recalling this witness, but.
I have 7 judges.
7. And you've already informed Mr. Velasco who you're going to be calling in your case in chief?
More or less, yes.
So more or less, how many more?
I can't say definitively, but I would say if we called 7, I'd probably have another 12, 13. Mr. Tomas and I were talking about whether or not the officer is going to testify. I still don't have an answer to that. It's up in the air at this point in time.
So 12, 13. Can you do your best to get as many outside and ready to go tomorrow and Friday?
Yeah, so I've already spoken to Detective Morales, who's going to be here in the morning, Detective Fernandez, who I've been texting with. I know she has some childcare issues, but she's going to be the first witness we're going to call. We have to finish up with Mr. Cisneros as well. We'll have substantive testimony in the morning and then carry it on into the afternoon. We also have, there is our CSI officer has a doctor's appointment at 1:30, but we're going to do our best to get her as well.
Because I think we could have done a lot more 2.5 hours a day.
I agree with the court.
Okay. Having been on the receiving end of many witnesses that get upset at me when I was a trial attorney, you guys just have to deal with it. So get as many here tomorrow as possible. If they have to come back, because we don't get to them tomorrow, I'd rather them here than not here.
We really only have law enforcement left, and they're all pretty understanding.
Like, for example, the medical examiner,
He's
not that far away.
Right, he's already informed us of what his schedule is, and we're going to work around his schedule, and Dr. Mathis is also pretty understanding.
Would it be possible to do most of the state's case in chief tomorrow and Thursday, and tomorrow and Friday?
I think we can get through the majority of it, yes.
Okay, and if we don't, it would leave maybe 1 or 2 witnesses for Tuesday.
Right, what day of the week, or I'm sorry, what day is Tuesday? Is it the 15th?
The 14th.
The 14th then will be fine, and we should be able to finish it. The only reason I ask is that I believe Dr. Mathis said he was unavailable on the 15th and 16th, but we'll, like I said, work around his schedule.
Alright, so I'll just tell the jury we're done early for today, and we'll have them come back tomorrow at the same time. Alright, Mr. Demas, is that okay with you, the schedule?
Yes, sir.
So we can just stay behind and chat about a few things after the jury leaves. Alright, so.
All right, so the jurors. Your presence.
We're all seated and accounted for during the tennis. So we're done a little early today. We'll plan for the same thing tomorrow. Folks, 10:30 to 5:30. Just went over a few scheduling things with the lawyers. So we'll try to make, again, best use of our time, be as efficient as possible tomorrow and Friday. So please follow my instructions that I read to you earlier today and that I informed you before we went to lunch. Don't do any research about this case, don't look up anyone about this case, don't let anyone talk to you about this case. If you come across any violations of rules that we all went over today, please inform me and or Roberto Avila. We'll give you instructions on where to meet him tomorrow. It'll probably be 34.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And he'll let you know. Why don't you take your envelopes with you? you'll just hand it to him once you all meet together on the third floor.
At what time do you want?
So we're gonna start at 10:30. I know Mrs. Smith, you have some issues with the ride. Well, so now that we know we're sort of in a routine, we can probably plan better and differently tomorrow, right? Okay, so, thank you all, see you tomorrow.
All right, so the jurors.
All right, jury has left, you can have seats. So the state asked, and I think it's appropriate. I think there was one officer you didn't cross-examine. I'm assuming that's based on strategy.
Yes.
I just want to make sure Ms. Link is in agreement with that. Okay. We still have a few days left. If there's anyone that wanted to be called, maybe the state's assistance or my assistance, we're issuing subpoenas, we're getting folks in here, let us know, and we could try to get that accomplished. Is there anything that I need to take up before we come back tomorrow?
I think so. I would just ask what time it's starting, or what time should I have notice here, I guess, is the better question.
It's my intention to bulldoze my way through my morning calendar, and if it means leaving cases on for trial, it's a sounding. Leaving cases on for trial for the sounding, I want to do it. If it means asking my colleagues to across from me, Judge Brinkley or Judge Hernandez, to take over my sounding, I will do so. I will be done with my sounding between 10 and 10:15.
How long's your camera?
It's about 35 pages.
Longer than today.
Yeah, we have some of the division prosecutors on Zoom, so I'm sure they've heard that. I am doing the majority of the witnesses tomorrow as well as Friday. I have a sentencing for Judge Brinkley that I will get covered for. I would like this opportunity to speak with the Mexican prior to that. I don't foresee an issue.
That's fine. So we need to let Mr. Rodriguez.
Ms. Polanco is on, and so is Ms. Heath, but I'll text everybody and let them know.
Ms. Heath as well is on, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Heath is on. I'm sure she'll relay the message that we need to get through the sounding as efficiently as possible. Whatever I don't get done at 10:15, I can send to Judge Brinkley or Judge Hernandez. Understood. All right. Thank you all. We'll see you all tomorrow at 10:15. Thank you for clarifying who you are. Victor is with Idagma. You are with Idagma, right?
Yes.
Yes, so in the future, just identify yourself fully. Otherwise, if I don't know who you are, and the way things are going these days, I'm not letting strange people into my courtroom, right?
I understand.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Demartino, Idagma, right? She's with the state attorney's office. She's been there for a long time. She's their witness coordinator on homicide cases.
Yes.
The young man is with her. He does watch trials from time to time. Yeah, he does. So that's why he's allowed back in, because he could identify him.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's the, I don't know why, that messes me up. No, I'm so serious. Every time I say